Good, yeah.
What an intro. That's great. I don't. The kryptonite. I guess that's for the other politicians, right? And that's what we're all here to talk about. And that's why you guys got those guys with all the courage over there on the street putting F Joe Biden. Okay. We've been through way too much, as all of you guys know. This has been more than any of us can handle. And there's a number of different things, and I don't have to sit here and ask you about votes, but I want to talk to you today about the media corruption that's been shutting us and you down, and just tell you about how the whole thing is now flipped. It's turned. The number one song in the country, according to iTunes, is what?
Let's go, Brandon.
Right? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. F. Joe Biden. Okay, now that chant is coming out because of each and every one of you, not because of me. I didn't even know about the song until Wednesday. You guys knew that. I just was like, what is this? What is this phenomena? And I'm like, all of this, I've been so busy with the mayoral race, and it's all washing over us now. If you notice, everything is absolutely washing. This is your moment. This is your time. And this is all about making sure what didn't happen in 2020 can happen and start to happen in 2021 and 2022. Okay? Because we're not giving up just because we lost or we got, more importantly, cheated. You know that we were cheated at the ballot box, okay? And I have not talked about that at all for one reason, is because I want everybody to turn out to vote on Tuesday. The best thing, and people ask me, why'd you spend so much money on t-shirts? Have you seen our advocates or people running around with Aragon? You notice the big red square around the inner blue? We've got these guys surrounded with truth. We've got these guys surrounded with all of the facts. We know that COVID, right, is a great scam. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the mayoral stuff, but you know that I'm going to fight Michelle Lujan Grisham on the science. She's had 2 health secretaries gone. You think Tim Keller is going to go ahead and do it? He didn't push back one time. Rely on our own epidemiologists if we have to, but there's never going to be a shutdown again. Like the kind, look, those guys are getting excited, revving their engines. They love what you stand for. They love the red, white, and blue that's on my sign, that's on your flag, and that's in your heart. Understand that. They are scared to death. If you got mooned or flipped off because you're wearing the red, white, and blue, well, F them back. You don't understand. If you don't understand that we are already in World War III, might sound crazy, right? Might sound crazy. Oh, that's crazy. That shot that people are putting in your arms, that they're making mandated, understand that. People are going to take clips from this, and they're going to say, oh, look, that guy's a loon. He's crazy. Look at what he's talking about. He's talking about World War III. We can't have a mayor that talks like that. You need a mayor that understands how these people have behaved towards you, and that you are the victims. We have been the victims the entire time. We never had any of the control, and well, we're not too sure. We don't want to go ahead and fight back. I don't know. What does it say right on my t-shirts, on our hats? Okay? People don't like me, and that's fine. I don't care about that. I'm not looking to get liked. What I do care about is making sure that you guys are happy, and I haven't seen a whole lot of happy faces because half the time they're covered up in masks. These poor people have been forced into a situation of not of their own doing, which is why we had that debate in that town hall the other night. You saw I kicked the sheriff's ass. You saw that I kicked the mayor's ass. And it's time we kicked everybody else's ass in town and show them what's right. You guys stand for what's right. Those bikers there, they stand for what's right. Okay? They'll do everything they can. You haven't seen a turnout like this. You haven't seen these guys. They put their entire heart on the line. And they wear it, and they're tatted, and they're cool. And that, my friends, you know that they live it. It's not just some sort of political campaign. It's not something that they just showed up for. Like, this is what they fought for. Many of these guys are veterans. They didn't fight for you to stay home so you could be afraid of the COVID. They didn't stay for you to, we'll wait to hear from the tiny tyrant up in Santa Fe and see what she has to say about it before we decide to go to work. We're not doing that anymore. We've got some fantastic statewide candidates who here are going to speak. And my job is to help them get elected, period. When we didn't have a Republican and a conservative in the race, I said, no, Manny, you waited till the very end to go ahead and jump in on the red flag laws. That ain't going to work. I'm not going to deal with that. You kicked me out of Cafe 6855, you and your henchmen, and then you're not even sure whether or not you would actually enforce the mask mandates. And now we know that you will, because you just said it in the Daily Lobo. And I'm talking directly to you, Manny Gonzalez. Oh, I also beat Manny Gonzalez in the punt Paxton kid. Look at that. That's what we want to hear. Right there. All those horns. All the people that support you. And any of these polls that you guys see that come out and they say, oh, well, Eddie's trailing by this. I barely got into the race 53 days ago. Think about that. Look at what we've already done. Because we have truth on our side, and 55% of the market doesn't even know who I am. And we're close to 20%. That's great. That's good information. You know what I want you guys to do tomorrow? Because you guys are so courageous, I want you to show up to your churches tomorrow in your shirts. I'm letting them know that we're going to turn this state red. You cannot win this state unless you win Albuquerque, New Mexico. You cannot win the state of New Mexico without turning all these people who are mesmerized by the same messaging coming from Chris Ramirez, Channel 7 and TJ Wilhelm and those hit pieces, and Channel 13. They've got their favorites. They are awash in corruption. You saw the murder that happened the other night on 13th and Lead. That's God speaking to you. Letting the community know we have 100, there's Murder Mike right there. We have 104 murders after 2 last night. Think about that for a sec. Because God is speaking to all of us here on 13, the number 13 Lead, 1 block away from Channel 4 and Channel 13, and most importantly, the American Civil Liberties Union, who hates my guts. And we gave them every answer they didn't want to hear, except for the surveillance cameras. When it comes to surveillance and the traffic I'm dead set against that. So if you differ with me, I don't think we need more cameras in our life. That's one of the things right? Can I just see if anybody agrees with me on that?
Yes.
Please? Does anybody want to go through traffic lights and be photographed?
No.
Right? I hope I'm right on that. I was like, are you really serious about these speed vans? We're not going to be doing any of that. So my job is to help get other Republicans elected. And I mean Republicans, not people who want to be Republicans. No, they got to be registered Republicans. I asked Manny when he was in our studio, I said, why don't you register Republican? You know I could help you. Gave him my phone number. I said, okay, well, let me know. Waited 2 weeks, nothing happened. I'm like, there's still not a Republican in the race. This is insane. Since the first time since 1974. So what do? We motivated our asses, and I had this wonderful woman right here in front of me, Rebecca, help me, and you got those petitions to get us on the ballot. And trust me, the one person Michelle Lujan Grisham's actually afraid of is the one speaking to you right here from this microphone. Trust me. You need to understand that. And we win this, get into the runoff, then we beat Keller on December 7th. What do you think's going to happen in the House? What do you think's going to happen in your neighborhood? Oh my gosh, that crazy guy is mayor. How did that happen? That guy's totally crazy. They'll be like, well, no, you know what? He's actually not so crazy. He wants to do business, and he's going after all this corruption. And they've been telling us he's crazy the other time. The actual people who are crazy is the woman who's getting trashed on the fourth floor in the governor's mansion with her dog pooping on the ground and throwing crotch water all over the place. Now, you understand that, right? That's crazy. Or what's crazy is what's happening right now in the city of Albuquerque, and acting like, oh, that's not our problem. That's a national issue. Crime is bad all over. Crime is bad in Chicago, so it's bad here. Oh, the weather in New York is really cloudy, so it's really cloudy in New Mexico. Like, that's the rationale. That's total and complete insanity, but that's the excuse that the left and the progressive leadership is using to take over. You guys, this is it. This is our stand. If we want 2022 and we want a Republican in the governor's mansion, if we want to win next year, we want to go ahead and flip the House and flip the Senate in 2 more years, and making sure that whoever is representing us, we want to make sure they're real patriots, by the way. That's important to me. Real patriots. Okay, there will be a litmus test. None of this Energy Transition Act or I hate Trump or any of that stuff, okay? Because Trump's coming back. You guys know that, right? You guys know that Trump's coming back. Understand, Trump is coming back. He's waiting for the right time, right? Maybe it's going to be a stealth campaign. He's going to sneak in 2023 and like, oh, we don't think he's going to beat. Trump's coming back, okay? And guess what we're going to do in 2024? We're going to make sure that the city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico is voting for Donald J. Trump for president. Trust me.
Yes.
I'm saying this at a time when this is going to hurt me with those left votes. Do you think I'm out looking for left progressive votes right now? This is right now on Facebook Live. They're like, oh, look, Eddie's committing suicide right here. Political suicide over here, getting on board with Trump. Do you think I care? Do you know what I'm playing right now on my radio station? I'm playing 770 KKOB and the fake conservatives who are sitting there pushing 2 Democrats and have already mailed it in and said, you know what, Tim Keller's going to get reelected. Why? So they can continue to talk bad about our city? This city's going to be awesome by 2030. We're going to flip, we're going to push back, and not only are we going to do that, we're going to have more people moving into the state of New Mexico and coming here because they don't want to go to Phoenix because it's overbuilt. They don't want to go to Utah. They don't want to go to Colorado. They don't want to go to Texas. They want to come right here. We've got room to grow. We've got to get the city going. We need to flip every single seat that we possibly can. I'm going to be out there, and these ladies know they're both running for statewide races. We also have Eddy Aragon. Where's Allie? Allie, right here. Let me tell you something that's so important. Each one of these people is willing to put their neck on the line, okay? And it's not easy to run for public office. But guess what? If we can do it, I already see 2 or 3 candidates right here in front of me, maybe 4 actually, that I, with my success, am going to get you to run for office. Believe it or not, I'm going to recruit you and get you to run for office. I'm going to show you, we're going to come protect you. We're going to protect you with the media. We're going to go ahead and protect you. It's like, oh, you know what? We're going to put somebody on you, make sure that nothing can happen to you personally. We're going to do it just like we're going to fight dirty and dirtier than the Democrats have. Because they're not afraid. They walk in and they're protected. You don't think that they're destroying people behind the scenes all the time? That's all they do. All you've seen are memes and comics and BS and make this stuff, all this crap up that they do all the time. But we're going to be there to protect you, and I will run to your rescue. I just need you to register Republican. I need you to vote Republican. I need you to turn the state red, okay? And I internally am doing everything I can to change the internal workings of the party as well. And that's not an easy thing, folks. All right? It's not an easy thing to do. There is so much division. And a lot of people say that I'm sowing a lot of it. I'm just letting them know that we are the Republican Party of John Trump. Understand that, okay? When we came back, we can all incorporate what he did in terms of the policies he stood up for. Who got the left to come over? Donald J. Trump. Those unions, do you guys remember those unions? How did he win this country? Wisconsin, Michigan, and the Midwest. Strong union places, okay? I'm not saying that we're for the unions because I'm going to get rid of the unions. They're not even going to need the unions, to be quite honest. We're going to be standing behind our APOA. We're going to be standing behind our fire department. We'll be standing upon our first responders, and they'll be the best paid around, and they will love this city. Nobody loves the city than the people who are willing to give their lives, put their lives on the line every single day. We got a great firefighter right over there, Nick. I mean, think about this stuff, okay? And this is important, okay? Last thing I'm going to say. Understand, with our lives and our families and our investments and everything that we've done here, that you are being driven out of the state of New Mexico. They don't like you. When you say, I'm going to leave, I quit, you're letting them win, okay? This is our home. This is where we live. This is where you decided to get up and look at those mountains every single day, breathe in the clean air, love our food, love our people, love our churches, love our life, okay? And we got to get back to loving that and not letting people get us down anymore. So the best thing that you guys can do for me, I don't need you to walk. We've already dropped 25,000 leaflets, okay? We've already made more than 100,000 phone calls where 41.5% of the people who were called, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, said that they're voting Eddy Aragon for mayor. Okay, we don't need to put that information out there. We know what we're doing, and our guys are inspired. They're not living in fear. They're like, oh my gosh, we could actually change this place. We actually could change the flow of everything in the state of New Mexico. And this is going to send a clear signal to Santa Fe and the rest of the state, and hopefully the rest of the country, that New Mexico is no longer closed, but we're now open for business. Make sure that you guys wear your shirts tomorrow to church, whatever church you go to, and say it proud. Let's go Brandon wherever you go. Thank you so much.